Yes, lads, today we'll be running through my 4-2-2 custom tactics. Let's get into them. So going straight into the custom tactics, the defensive style we leave unbalanced. I don't really like any of the other stuff, especially after post-patch where your stamina gets really heavily drained if you go on something like pressure after possession loss or constant pressure. Really does take a toll on your stamina. Now I think it's a 41% or 40% extra stamina decay when you put this on. So you can toggle to and from it. If you're losing a game, I recommend you go on constant pressure just to help yourself get back into the game. But for the most part, we leave it on balance. The width, we go on 45, a little bit below the default, but I found this is what works best for this particular formation. The depth, now this has been, since patch, is a thing that I've been playing with quite a bit. I've tried high depth, like the 70s we've been sticking to, and a bit lower towards like 50. I still think it's beneficial to have a higher depth. I've been playing on 65 depth for this formation. It's a little bit more deep than our usual 70, but because of the way pace works now, players like Mbappe do get in behind quite easy, but I don't like being stuck in my box. Build up play, we leave on balanced. We don't do any of the other options. We keep it balanced all the time. And chance creation is on direct passing, which it always is. If you're not using direct passing, I definitely recommend you do that. If you don't like direct passing, you could always leave this on balance. I don't think going possession forward runs is that effective this year. But if you do use those different tactics, let me know. But for the most part, we're going to leave that on direct passing. The width, the defensive width, we put this on the attacking width. Sorry, we put this on 60. You'll understand when we go into the instructions why we're increasing the width more than we normally would for other formations. But we don't want to be too narrow, as if you put it on 50, I think the cams, they sit too close to the middle. But I want them to play like wingers, so we push it to 60. Between 60 and 65 is perfect. I don't think you need to go any higher than that. Players in the box, we leave on 6, and corners and free kicks both 1-1, because of if you go any higher than that. I think I scored loads of corners playing it short or crossing it in on 1. I think the only thing that you do when you put it up is you open yourself up to being counter-attacked, which is not ideal, especially when you're trying to clutch out those last couple of wins. So into the instructions, probably the most important part. And we'll start at the strikers. So the left striker is stay central, and that is it. We'll change nothing else. We leave it on mixed attacking runs. I usually have these instructions on, so it doesn't matter whether you do it on your left or your right striker. But this will be a more creative striker. So for me, this is Neymar. So he's able to dribble, pass the ball, set up AYYLP, who is then stay central, getting behind. So both can stay central, but your faster, more clinical striker, I'd have getting behind, as I found that the most effective way to get some goals. Neymar almost supports more than he is a striker. He gets his fair share of goals, but his main role is to tee up AYYLP, to be honest. Both the cams we have on the same tactics. We've got get into the box for crosses, and I've tried putting this on comeback on defense. I'm not a massive fan of that. It sits a bit too deep for me then. Having it on basic, sometimes they come back, sometimes they don't. I think having the 2 CDMs and then your fullbacks doing what they will do, I think it may be a little bit overkill, and I think it slows down your attacks when they come back all the time. The 2 CDMs, same custom tactics for these guys. Stay back while attacking and cover center. I've played with cut passing lanes, but they seem to get lost sometimes between the passes, so that I lose a bit of that control. I'm quite comfortable with cutting passing lanes myself, but if you're not, I recommend putting this on. But if you like to be a bit more manual and control where you want to intercept the ball, I recommend just leaving it on basic. It's just the easiest one. Centre back, stay back while attacking. You don't change anything on these. Please don't change anything on these. right and left back. Both of these are stay back while attacking and overlap. If you like your fullback to attack, I still recommend you put them on stay back while attacking, because you can just toggle it with a D-pad and you can send them forward with down and left, which I think when you do that, you got more control of when you want your fullback to go forward, rather than having this on like balanced or join the attack. You have to press pause to make the changes, so you're wasting pauses for one, and it's not instant, whereas you're toggling on the D-pad, it's instant. And yeah, so I think it's the best way to manage your fullback situation. Goalkeeper is then comes for crosses, and sweeper keeper, it's not going to give you too much in terms of game changing, but it helps out a little bit with them coming out for corners, or you know, getting that first yard in when a player goes one-on-one. I do recommend you turn this on, because it gives you that little bit of 1%, and you never know, it may clutch out a game for you. The new patch has definitely brought on its fair share of problems in terms of the meta and how to play the game, what depth you should be using. I do have another set of post-patch custom tactics here. Check them out. It may save a life. Jeez!